We are currently on the verge of reaching a new all-time high for Bitcoin, and I generally believe that July is going to be a really good month. I'll show you now exactly why that is. Let's take a quick look at the liquidation heat map, and we can see that the next few days are going to be interesting because there's still a lot of liquidity up here. What's important is that if we break through here, then the way upwards is basically clear. You can see here that once we really clear this $111,000 mark, the path is completely open up to $114,000. But there are several reasons why I believe July could go really well. For one thing, we can see here that July has been an extremely good month for the Nasdaq and the S&P 100 in recent years. In fact, over the past 16 years, July has been the best month on average that we've ever had. Of course, that could be the case again this time. And if the traditional markets perform well, that would actually suggest that the crypto markets will do well too. The thing is, what you simply have to understand about Bitcoin is that we are seeing more frequent and longer sideways phases. We simply have these boring phases where the market stagnates, maybe corrects a bit, but not much really happens. But that's just part of it. We had similar phases back then in the other cycles as well. Let's take a look here. This here was basically the bear market of 2019, and even here we had really exciting phases, then sideways phases again, exciting phases, sideways phases, and then at some point the big breakout came, and I think the picture we've drawn here already resembles the current situation to some extent, because here too we have good phases, then again these boring sideways phases, good phases. Right now though, it's very, very exciting because as I said, we're just about to reach the all-time high, and we've already tested this all-time high for the fourth or fifth time now. If we manage to break through it sustainably this time, then things will get interesting again because there's simply a lot of resistance in this zone. But what you have to understand here is that down here, the 4-grid index, we really heat up, then cool off nicely, then heat up again, cool off, heat up, cool off. The whole time we're climbing up step by step like stairs. The advantage of this is that we keep removing selling volume, and that way we can rise much higher in the long term. What makes me feel quite optimistic is simply this fact. When we hit the bear market low back then, volatility really started to pick up after the China issue was resolved, and we saw a rise in Bitcoin of over 10,000%. When we had that massive corona crash in 2021, we also saw fresh capital entering the markets here, and we witnessed a rise of 1,500%. Currently, we've had different issues here, and since then we've managed to gain almost 300%. But that's not a huge deal yet. In comparison, we should be rising much higher here. And what's also a factor here is that based on time and data, we simply don't have much time left with the altcoins. In my opinion, the altcoin explosion will come, but this time it will be a bit shorter, yet significantly more explosive. Just take a look at the Bitcoin dominance here. Here, we had a drop in Bitcoin dominance lasting 12 months, here 9 months, and currently, if everything stays the same in terms of time and data, we only have about 5 or 6 months left where the altcoins can really perform well. That's pretty crazy too, because a project like Ondo is partnering with the largest bank in the world, which is ultra bullish, but in terms of price, nothing is happening here. It's exactly the same with Chainlink, a partnership with the largest bank in the world. Which is now fully moving into the RWA sector, and in terms of price, nothing is happening here. Friends, and I haven't presented any project on this channel for over half a year, nor have I had any paid partnerships or anything like that. Today we have a paid partnership, but I only agreed to it because I actually think the project is pretty good. I like it and I use it myself. That's the background, and personally, I would only present projects that I truly stand behind. Today we're talking about Nomi Finance, and Nomi Finance will soon be releasing their own token. But they already have a fully functional website. Take a look at this website. As you can see here, I personally have $15,000 in this account. Let me briefly explain what you can do here. You can deposit different cryptocurrencies here. For example, let's take Bitcoin. You can leave your Bitcoins here flexibly and earn returns from it. As you can see here, you get a flexible return of 24%. That means you can leave it here for 3 weeks, and if you need your Bitcoins again after 3 weeks, you can withdraw them. But don't let yourself be fooled by this 24%. Half of that goes to the platform and the other half goes to you. So in the end, that's effectively 12% interest, but 12% interest that's flexible, where you can withdraw your money at any time, is extremely positive. Just imagine if you're holding Bitcoins anyway, you might as well keep them here and earn returns on them. You can also lock them up so that you can't withdraw your crypto at any time. In that case, you get significantly higher returns, sometimes up to 20% for 9 months. We're now here in my wallet, and I'll just show the ones I have. Here you can see I have Solana, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. These are cryptocurrencies I hold anyway, but I've deposited them here. Why did I do that? So that I can earn returns at the same time. And that's what's so brilliant about this platform. But the whole thing is also based on the fact that the cryptocurrencies are lent out in the background and earn interest. In the end, it works just like a bank in real life. If you have $10,000 at Deutsche Bank, that money is also lent out and earns interest and is given to other people without your consent. Here, Nomi does exactly the same thing. They give the money to other people who need loans or whatever, earn interest, and in the end, we benefit from it. That's why I find the whole thing so brilliant, and that's also why I like the way this is handled here. The returns are completely realistic. The website is good. The great thing is you can already buy the Nomi token. I'll also link everything for you. You can see it here. Here you can buy the token. The cool thing is if you stake the token, you get significantly higher returns than with the other tokens, because of course they also want to strengthen their own token a bit more. I'll link both things in the description. Feel free to check it out. As I said, you don't have to use it. It's just a platform I personally find interesting, one I would use myself, and that's why I introduced it to you today. So now let's continue talking about why the coming months will be interesting. We've simply reached a point where the market seems pretty dead, but the great thing is we can look at statistics here that show us what's going to happen next. Here we have the Bitcoin long-term holder market inflation rate chart. This chart is extremely important, so take a look at this. When Bitcoin rises here, we also see that the long-term holders are selling. Right now we can see that the long-term holders are buying while we're at the all-time high. It couldn't be better because you can see how accurate this chart is. When Bitcoin goes up, they sell. When it goes down, they buy. If we rise again here, they sell. Here we dropped again and they bought in. Here we rose sharply and here they sold. So you can see the long-term holders always act correctly here. And right now they're simply continuing to buy, even though we're at the all-time high. That makes me very optimistic. In addition, you have to take a look at this, the Bitcoin sell-side liquidity. That means how much money is still on the sidelines that could be sold. And just take a look at this. We can clearly see that there isn't much selling liquidity left here. And that's the advantage when we climb step by step in a market. We can see that after this rise in Bitcoin, some people sold. Then we had a stagnation phase and selling continued here. Here we see another rise. And because this has happened over a longer period, more and more selling liquidity has been taken out of the market here. This is so positive because to me it indicates that we're slowly seeing a turnaround here and that we can gradually become bullish again. Because while the Bitcoin holders with 1 Bitcoin are currently selling, the holders with over 100 Bitcoins are buying right now, even at these high prices. And as I said, the smart money, the whales, they know what they're doing. They've been doing this for much longer. They have much more expertise here. And normally they would also be selling if we were now close to the all-time high. You can see that the closer we got to the all-time high, the more aggressively profits were taken. Right now, we see that we're at the all-time high and they're still buying. And that's why I believe July could turn out to be a particularly good month.